Hey everyone, you're listening to our Marvel studies of the Road to Infinity War. And this week we're talking about a contentious movie, The Avengers Age of Ultron. And I can't wait to dive in and hear what you think about this, Alex, because this is a complicated movie in the fan reaction, but it came out in 2015, directed by Joss Whedon, who we love. And stars all of our regulars and then a few others. But let's just get right into the summary, because this movie has quite a lot in it.
I mean, you think about when we look back just a few days ago when we talked about Guardians of the Galaxy, that came out in August of 2014, and it felt like I feel like between these two films, there was somewhat of an eternity for us to build the anticipation for Age of Ultron, which was properly done by the fine folks at Walt Disney Studios Motion Pictures.
I mean, to your point, the anticipation was building since 2012 when the Avengers came out. We're like, oh, can't wait till they get all together.
Do it again, do it again, do it again.
Yeah. So what did they do this time? Well, this time the movie is about the Avengers functioning as a unit now, hunting down the leftover pieces of Hydra.
Hell Hydra.
No.
Oh, no, sorry.
But when you cut off one of the heads, 6 more take its place.
Yeah, right.
We have some good action with the team all working together. It's fun in the woods. And then Tony stumbles into this area where one of the giant beasts from the Avengers is, and he has a flashback, or not a flashback, but kind of like a vision of all of his Avengers dying and the Earth being taken over, and his guilt is being churned, and his worry and all of his anxieties. Go for it.
Yeah, it just kind of brings up those demons again and everything else.
Yeah.
And eventually we discover that there are these twins that Hydra's been holding up,
They're calling them the Age of Miracles, these miracles.
Yes.
Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, their brother and sister. Now, interestingly enough, these are mutants in the books, but because Fox owns the film rights to the X-Men and mutants, they can't call them mutants.
No.
However, they're founding members of the Avengers, so both studios own these characters.
Yeah.
And it's interesting.
It's complicated.
Yeah. Anyway, the team gets Loki's staff and go back home and hanging out, having a party at Avengers HQ. And there's some great funny story moments with Rhodey and all the characters having fun.
Falcon,
trying to pick up Thor's hammer, and no one can.
Nope. Except
Cap almost moves it, and Thor gets worried for a moment.
Yes.
It's great. And it's when the team's just hanging out as people, it is so compelling and fun to watch, and you just want to be there.
Right.
But then, of course, the fun gets kind of ruined because Tony and Bruce have been working on trying to build a Iron Man suit around the world to protect the world, by having an AI that's so incredibly complex and powerful that it can run automated Iron Man suits to protect the world. And they use the Mind Stone from Loki's staff to create this AI. Unfortunately, it's too powerful, and it's kind of creates Ultron, which is an anti-Tony Stark. He is Tony Stark in every way, just with a corrupted view of humanity and what the solution should be. The way to protect the world and humanity is to thin out the pack, destroy much of humanity, because then they can't hurt themselves.
Yeah,
that's a solution.
Yeah, well, it could be a worser solution out there, but in this case, it certainly is the least viable line of living that we want our heroes to live within. So yeah, they have a good reason to fight, I'd say, wouldn't you?
So to wrap it up, Ultron's major goal is to go to Sokovia and rip part of that continent from the sky and then crash it back down like a meteor strike, which would cause basically a world extinction event, because clouds would block the sun, blah blah blah, everyone dies. They stop it, they save the day. They have this cool little brief hideaway in Hawkeye's farmhouse with his family. That's cool.
Mhm.
Good character stuff there. But the Avengers, Age of Ultron ends, and they all save the day. But
Do they get shawarma?
no shawarma this time. What they get is lasting consequences, I think, which we see in a few more films.
See, that's not nearly as fun. See, I'm okay with shawarma. I'd rather have shawarma.
Do you know what it is fun?
What?
Talking about what we like.
Oh, yeah, I like that. Again, I mentioned this, but that has not changed.
So what do you like?
See, what I like
Uh-oh.
is that it continues to provide you all of your favorite superheroes in a fantastic film. It provides to you beautiful visual effects and action sequences, including a planet that just kind of lifts off from underneath itself, which mentally is fraying and just bizarre, but here we are. And then kind of on top of all of that, you get more great collaborative fight sequences with our favorite heroes, saving the day and kicking major butt.
Indeed. And tons of Tony Stark-esque, not Tony Stark, but Iron Man-esque little drones that they have to keep beating around.
Yes, and then the Hulkbuster.
Oh, yes. That's a fun sequence.
Oh,
And I think that goes to what I like. There's a lot of fun sequences. I love so much of this movie, but put it together and it's not as successful and whole.
yeah, that's why I feel like it was good, and that's why it gave so many folks as much mixed feelings, I think is the nice way to put it.
Something else that I liked, two other things. Ultron is a pretty good villain, I think.
Yes, James Spader, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, heck yeah, he's great in everything, especially the original 1994 Stargate. But, and in The Office, too, he's pretty good.
Yep.
What was his name?
I'm nodding.
Yeah.
In The Office? Oh, I can't
Yeah.
remember. Oh, gosh, that's going to be... I don't think that's good enough for a trivia question, but no, that's something to ponder for a different time.
Yes. Anyway, Ultron's very interesting. His motive is very clear. It makes sense. He's not just twirling his, mustache villain. He has the same goal as Tony. It's just a twisted. And we really see Tony is a tinkerer. He wants to build and
Yes.
find solutions by coping with his technology. And Ultron's doing the same thing. He keeps improving himself, improving people around him, creating his army. He's trying to solve things by building. He's just disconnected from humanity, kind of in the same way that Tony Stark is. In this,
Right.
he's playing with fire. He's Prometheus. He doesn't know what he's dealing with this Mind Stone, and his propensity to solve problems by building and using tech leads to almost a world-level extinction event with Ultron.
No good. We don't like that.
Come on,
We
Tony.
want to keep eating our shawarma. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and not space shawarma, just Earth
No.
shawarma.
Yes. Yes.
We want to stay here and eat it. So.
Yes.
It's another step along the road to Tony's kind of fall. He's almost a tragic character, and I have 2 videos where I argue that. So
Shameful plug of the day.
I really like Vision too.
I-
What do you think about Vision?
See, we finally get Jarvis a body, and Jarvis gets something. We get something to look at instead of just a pretty voice. Paul Bettany getting to play Vision in a sort of I wouldn't say humanoid. That wouldn't be the right way to
He's
frame it.
humanoid, yeah.
Yeah,
He's
humanoid form of Tony's assistant AI formatting. So there you have finally something. And he's powered by an Infinity Stone. How frickin' cool is that? So, yeah, there's no way that anything bad could happen to him. Right.
Well, in the comics, he has a dark history because him and Scarlet Witch fall in love. and have
Right.
children, and they die, and so many things.
You
but
just got really
I-
sad. Oh.
I know. I when I saw Vision, I'm like, wow, like they could put anything on screen now, and it works.
You had a vision. Aha!
So, can we envision our shelves and maybe put one of these on the shelves?
Yeah. I would say after seeing the first Avengers movie, I think we're all in agreement that our expectation level was high.
Oh, yes.
And we were not disappointed, but it may not have reached the top shelf as the previous entry into the Avengers series specifically did. So I will
Yes.
firmly keep this on my second shelf. I loved the film, but I would not say to the point where its rewatchability, as we've discussed before, keeps me wanting to see it again and again.
Yeah, part of me wants to put it on the third shelf.
Ouch.
I know. Well, not too
A
much.
little
Ouch.
salty
That means
on
it's
that.
a good
Oh,
movie.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
You know, Thor. I put Thor on the third shelf, and Hulk. I mean,
Well, that was
they're
deserving.
good movies. They're good movies. They're not great, and they're not perfect. You know, but there's so much to enjoy and love in this film, even though it doesn't come together in quite a coherent thematic unit. It's enjoyable because of the characters. Nothing's wrong with the characters. They're really strong.
Yeah. I agree.
And I love spending more time with them, even if the film isn't the best. So this is probably one of the best villains we've had, but in a movie that's overstuffed, kind of like Iron Man 2 is overstuffed.
Yeah.
Because the whole Thor sequence, he's having visions of Thanos and Infinity Stones, and that's directly setting up, Avengers Infinity War.
Aha.
I remember reading Joss Whedon did not want that scene at all. He fought to have it out because it just was disjointed.
See, that
but
doesn't
the
make any
studio
sense.
forced him to have it in there. And this is why he no longer makes Marvel movies. He was so stressed out
I know.
about this film and its production because Kevin Feige and the powers that be wanted to plant things in for future ones instead of just making a good compact film here. So for me, second shelf, so close to rolling off and falling down to that third shelf.
Teetering, yes, on the third. Yes, I understand.
So many good character moments. Save it for me. So we've done it. This is the last Avengers film until
we get
May
to
4th.
Yeah, May the 4th. This is true. We still have a lot of pieces of the puzzles to still add in here.
Oh yes, this is the longest phase. Phase.
Yeah.
What is it? Phase 3.
I
From
think so.
Avengers Age of Ultron till Infinity War.
Yep.
Phase 3.
And it's a lengthy phase. I would say that maybe the third phase doesn't truly begin until a film like maybe Civil War, which disjointedly gets released prior to other films that maybe should be part of phase 2, but for commercial reasons, the studios decided to do something completely different. But
You're right. Civil War feels like another Avengers film.
yes,
And there's only, Ant-Man is in between this one and that one, I believe.
Doctor Strange, I think, also falls in there. But yeah, it's something that we could kind of look back on and just kind of say that this kind of does lead you towards an epilogue to this second phase and kind of see what else other filling notes can add on to this particular chapter of our series.
Well, he's on a second shelf, and so am I. And can you take us out, sir?
I can. We want to thank you for joining us today here on the Maury Povich Show. Join us next week. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh boy.
He's never sounded that mild-mannered ever. So that was like the early Maury days. That had to have been the early Maury days, everyone. No, thank you again for joining us here on our Marvel Studies on our road to the Infinity War. Feedback can always be provided in the comments section below here on the YouTube or on the Facebooks or wherever you may find our fine podcasts in your earballs, because that's anatomically correct, right?
I was just going to say, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Find him on Twitter at Shelf Nerds. Find me at Twitter at Alex_Salvo. But until then, we will see you on the road to the Infinity War.